Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mr. Hino with Mr. Hino's LEGO Robotics. Today's video is going to be on basically shutting down the school year and what do we do when our robotics class is shutting down the year and getting ready kind of for next year. So I want my students to have their kits inventoried so next year we're ready to go. We don't have to worry about finding missing pieces. Everybody has a perfect kit. So what I do is I take the piece map that comes with your LEGO EV3 kit and I basically blow it up to 11 by 17. So there, what would be below your kit or under the tray, and that would be what's in your tray. So I have my students, basically they just put an X over everything they have. And if they don't have something, then they go to the extra piece kits or the drawers to get what they need to make sure they have everything. So in times past, I've actually had them circle things that they were missing that maybe we didn't have, but we've done a great job of putting all the pieces that we have for extra pieces in the drawers. So now it's just an X. If they don't have something, they will go to the drawers or they'll come to me if it's something, big like that. So that's a huge chunk of their grade is getting this to be perfect. Basically, when they're done, they'll bring their kit to me. I will check 4 things. Sometimes I'll check 2 things here and 2 things in their tray. It might be up to how I'm feeling. It might be 3 things in their tray, 1 thing here. And if they have everything, then they get their A for their inventory. They're missing 1 thing or they have too much of 1 thing, then they get marked off pretty heavily. So I make this a big deal because they need to make sure they do this right and not have the attitude of, oh, well, if we're missing something, if we have too much, no big deal. They need to know it's a big deal. And then lastly, they'll also have to bring their brick to me with everything wiped off their brick. So taking a look at this brick, they just need to make sure that when I go to that second tab, sorry about the lighting here, and then we go into their brick program save, that all those things are gone. And they can either do that manually or they can actually wipe it clean with a firmware update. So let me show you how that looks. Okay, so I have that brick hooked into my laptop here. And you just go up to Tools and you just click Firmware Update. And you just click Update Firmware. And no, I will not bore you with this thing going from 0 all the way to 100. So I'll come back to you when it's 100 and show you then what the brick looks like with all those programs. I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back. The update was successful. And then on this brick, you can see that demo is the only thing that remains on this brick, which should be the way it goes. So depending on how many programs that you have on your brick, it might be easier just to get rid of them manually. This one didn't have that many, so it would have been easier just to manually get rid of them. But if you got like a ton, that was about 5 minutes. So, if the student has nothing else to do, they can delete it by hand. But if, like they're too lazy, then they can just do the firmware update and then everything's gone. All right, guys, so that kind of shows you or gives you a look into what I do to end the school year in robotics. So usually it's kind of a stressful time to make sure all the kits do get inventoried and we are good to go for next year. But yeah, if you start early enough, everything should be good. All right, guys, I am Mr. Hino from Mr. Hino's LEGO Robotics. I am out.